For the first time in history, the official Naruto website has released a panel from an upcoming manga chapter. This only shows the level of anticipation behind the long-awaited flashback arc, and the unnoticed details of this panel has unveiled a lot about the future of the story. So let's dissect this exclusive panel along with predicting what's about to come. Boruto and Sasuke's rogue period is something that people have been expecting from the very beginning of the series. I think it's one of the main reasons for the creators to drop the bomb by releasing the panel of the duo. Now, even though there are some genuine questions which need to be answered regarding this specific event in the story, let's understand some interesting details of this panel, starting off with the conversation that they both are having. So basically, we have got Boruto telling Sasuke about his Uchiha style and how he has seamlessly embraced it. We get to see Boruto with long hair and a smiling face, which makes one thing clear that Sasuke was the most important pillar of strength to him. The guidance of the master saved him from losing the sparkle in his eyes, and it's very likely that these are his final moments of joy after going rogue. The fact that he has resilience against all the unfortunate stuff that has happened to him is pretty impressive. He literally lost his everything, but he's still enjoying his new attire. A really heartwarming way to depict how hope can overtake destiny. A detail that I noticed in this dialogue of Boruto reminds me of Kawaki and his attitude towards Himawari. Boruto was hesitant to call Sasuke uncle and quickly took his words back and regarded him as a master instead. Maybe Sasuke doesn't like being called uncle by Boruto due to the doubts of omnipotence. The same reason Kawaki doesn't like being called brother by Himawari. He's hesitant to live the privileges of Boruto's life, as that wasn't his main motive at first place. Similarly, Sasuke still sees Boruto as Kawaki, and he must be acting with caution towards him just because he can't trust the intuition of his daughter completely. Moreover, the effects of the divine spell worsen with the passage of time, so it must have taken Sasuke a lot of courage and faith to be the mentor of the most wanted rogue shinobi. Boruto also has long hair in this panel, which means he only got a new hairstyle after his master gets turned into a tree. This reminded me of the Uchiha tradition of cutting hair whenever they lose a fight. For some reasons, Boruto followed the same practice after losing his master, which also means that we are about to see the very first on-screen W of code. But we can't ignore the fact that he's about to get one of his eyes slashed by either Boruto or Sasuke, so maybe this victory that he's about to gain is a result of his unfair advantage. This panel is a reflection of the contrast that Boruto's life shall be experiencing before and after Sasuke. He went from a carefree individual to a poker-faced warrior having burning ambitions. Moreover, we could see Boruto using a different sword here, which means he takes the one used by Sasuke as the final memento after the unfortunate incident. Assuming this was the last smile of Boruto and he isn't going to feel the same unless he frees his master, now it makes sense that why he couldn't face Sarada in the second chapter. He is full of guilt and completely ashamed of the fact that he couldn't save Sasuke from becoming a tree. I believe the moment Boruto reveals the truth of Sasuke to Sarada will be one of the most emotional moments of the story. Sarada put all her trust in her father for the sake of saving Boruto, and now that she has lost Sasuke in between the battle of emotions, she's about to experience the most painful chapter of her life. This lends meaning to the statement of Momoshiki, where he said those who are immune to omnipotence suffer from its effects the most. I believe the news of Sasuke's current state will make Sarada completely mundane, just like Boruto. The Shinju clone of her father that I think she will have to face sometime in the future will only add fuel to the fire. Anyway, coming back to this panel, I'm not sure why exactly Boruto looks a bit older here. Maybe it's because of the short angle, or it could be because he's an Otsutsuki. This sequence must be taking place a year after both of them went rogue, which means he must be 13 years old right here. It was even said by his Japanese voice actor that he will outgrow Naruto in height, so I think there is not much to debate about why he looks taller here. It's a genetic gift more or less, just like his Otsutsuki power that Momoshiki mentioned back when he gave him the karma. Before going any further, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an upload from my side. The next video will probably cover the spoilers, and by subscribing you will be updated with everything that gets leaked. Coming on to the content of this chapter, I think it will be focused on the final happy moments of Boruto as the student of Sasuke. His mentor had been keeping him together all this time, but as written in his inevitable fate, he was bound to lose everything, and Sasuke was no exception to that. So should we expect the most awaited Core vs Boruto fight in this chapter? Well, it's the beginning of the manga's second volume and must have at least 4 chapters. I believe all of them will be dedicated to the past events and the story of rogue Boruto. Starting off with how happy he is peace with Sasuke even after losing his identity, and concluding with Kashin Koji's special training. The chapters in the middle could have some action like the sudden attack of Code, and maybe even the most awaited return of Momoshiki to the story. Boruto must be shocked to see Sasuke turning into a tree, and the only person who could make him understand this situation is none other than Momoshiki. His absence from the time skip is pretty intriguing, only because he wouldn't give up on taking over Boruto so easily. There must be something going on behind the scenes, which is keeping Momoshiki at bay. Now whether it's the hard training of Boruto or some sort of sealing technique that he learned from Kashin Koji will remain a mystery for some time. If the flashbacks are gonna be the last thing to appear in the chapter, then here is how I think the story is about to continue. The Shinjus would sense some strong Otsutsuki presence from Konoha and would decide to invade it for the sake of devouring them. The bald and female divine creature would enter the leaf, with the Jigen looking Shinju hovering over the village just like Pain and Ishiki. The Moigi clone shall be facing Team 10 and Himawari for some solid reasons that I have mentioned in this video. Meanwhile, Sarada and Kawaki will have no choice but to team up against the bald Shinju. The clone of Sasuke would go after Boruto for obvious reasons, and the bug looking Shinju might bring an end to the legacy of Code. The flashback would happen once Boruto reminds himself of the past and how he spent a whole year training with his master before losing him. It could even be that all this laughter and smiles were nothing more than a coping mechanism of Boruto to bear the irreversible loss of everything. He saw Sasuke as his last hope, but even he succumbed to the tragedy of his fate. Not to mention even Kashin Koji is destined to lose his life cause he has sealed his fate as the mentor of the person who's fighting his own destiny. Even though he appeared as the last hope of Boruto, he might soon get killed by Kawaki, who possesses the genetics of Ishiki. The Otsutsuki had predicted him dying in the Kara hideout, the same way Jiraiya succumbed to the rods of pain. This prophecy can't go wrong, and the only person who's powerful enough to kill Koji, that too with similar rods, is none other than Kawaki himself. He might go back to the Kara hideout after getting brainwashed by Shinju, and there he will take the life of Koji, who's literally the last pillar of hope for Boruto. And once the clone of Jiraiya will meet his inevitable fate, the star of hope could awaken in the eye of Boruto, making him the most broken character. Another interesting thing that caught my eye in this panel is Boruto wearing the bracelet of Shikadai on his wrist. Surprisingly, he doesn't wear it anymore during the comeback into Blue Vortex. However, in the prologue scene, he can again be seen with the same bracelet. Now either it's just a mistake made by Ikimoto, or a huge emotional roller coaster is waiting for Boruto. It could be that upon losing Sasuke, he stopped calling himself Boruto Uzumaki and took off everything that associated him with his original life. However, in the prologue scene, it seems like he somehow reversed omnipotence, and after a good conversation with Shikadai, he wore the wristband again. Now that we have discussed so many bad instances happening in the life of Boruto, let's discuss a possibility that no one is talking about. What if Sasuke's transformation into a tree is actually a blessing in disguise for the shinobi world? The reason I think so is because his clone has Rinnegan in both the eyes, and even both his arms are upright as well. So could it be that this divine tree has some revitalizing elements which could heal the broken limbs and other body parts of the victim? If that's the case, then we can expect to see Sasuke return with his Rinnegan and left arm. Also, there must be a reason for only one of his arms and eyes to be visible from the divine tree. It might be a foreshadowing of him growing his lost body parts back and returning with a major buff later in the story. We still haven't got to see a body or more type of moment from Sasuke's side in the story, so maybe Kishimoto has put him to rest only to write an exceptional comeback for him. After all, Sasuke is the favorite character of Kishimoto, and he won't let his legacy go down without any highly honorable moment. Scarring the eye of a loser like Code can't be considered a goated moment for Sasuke. There must be something even crazier down the lane for him, and we can only wait to find out what it's gonna be. Like, imagine Sasuke with the abilities of Jubisuke going toe to toe with the never before seen members of the Otsutsuki clan. Boruto's hopes will soon materialize into reality, making him the final savior of the shinobi world. Find out how the missing Otsutsukis could become a part of the plot and the next move of Shinju's in these videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.